Hello everybody, it's the Worm, and welcome back to Steins Gate. I'm here in the same recording session as the last episode. Took a little bit of a break, decided to look into a few things. So one thing I wanted to check was Okabe, Rintaro, Okarin, mentioned that Suzuha had said something scary the first time we met her. I just wanted to look back and check what he was saying, or what she was saying, rather. And I believe the line he's referring to is the one where Rintaro mentions the organization, and she seems to take that seriously, and says something like, I don't know what this organization is, but if you're ever in trouble and you need me to hurt someone, I can do that. I'm good at dealing with situations like that. And it's a bit out of place, and she does seem very serious when she says it. So it's only a couple lines, though. But I think that's what he was referring to. Also, I've not really delved too deep on all the stuff John Titor was saying, but my thoughts, if I had to sort of sum up my thoughts on it, it's something, the main point that I got out of that whole John Titor thing was the idea that time doesn't have to flow the same direction. I guess something like that. And I guess I'm still a bit confused. At one point he said, affecting the present affects the past. And I can recall, when I read it the first time, I don't think I realized what it said. I thought I think my mind interpreted it as something like affecting the present affects the future. And I was like, oh, that time travel stuff makes perfect sense. But it was saying the present affects the past. And again, that confuses me because, well, the present affects the past. So, I mean, if that's the case, anything we're doing in the present right now is affecting the past in some way? Or is he talking about specifically time travelers affecting the so-called present, changing the past? But if it's a time traveler, and in the example, the time traveler went back in time or something, at least I think he said that. So the time traveler traveled to a specific time in the past. So at least from the time traveler's perspective, it's the past changes the past. The time traveler travels back in time, affects the past, and that affects the further past. So so you could tell I'm a bit befuddled here. Now, as I said previously, if they're going to go deeper into this and explain it a bit more, then just let the game do that. I'll find out in my own time. But if that was the explanation and I just wasn't understanding it, and you think you can sort of clarify it a bit better for me, then go ahead, because I'm a bit confused. But my assumption is that we will probably get more examples, because I was thinking that we're probably going to be dealing with some sort of situation like that, especially if John Titor ends up being either Suzuha or Moeka. So let's continue on, shall we? Let's see what's going back in the lab. 20 hours have passed since Daru started hacking. My goodness, man. I hope he's drinking water, or at least taking breaks. You need to, every once in a while, you need to stand up and get the blood flowing a bit. Night gives way to a refreshing summer morning. I glance at Daru while browsing @channel on my phone. He's fidgeting even more. His legs are like pistons. His knees move up and down in harmony with the rat-a-tat-tat of his keyboard. Daru hasn't slept in about 40 hours, but he still won't get off the computer. Wow. Okay. I was going to ask him if he'd like a break, but his entire body was exuding an aura that says, "Don't talk to me." I curl up a bit and return to my phone. Well, you know, if inventing a time machine doesn't get the black suits to break down your door, I guess, you know, maybe hacking into CERN, which we're thinking is actually an evil organization, will probably do the trick, right? Oh, that was another thing last episode. Again, if we're believing what John Titor is saying, apparently the reality John Titor is from has turned into a kind of, what would it be? Technocratic, communistic hellhole is how it was described. So, yeah, that just was thrown in there. I curl up a bit and return to my phone. My discussions with John Titor just aren't making sense. Not even Titor himself seems to know about the Titor from 10 years ago. That's interesting. That's an interesting little tidbit. It's hard to imagine that everyone on that channel is conspiring against me. Oh yeah, and that was a further thing that John Titor mentioned, that there are apparently specific people that are able to be aware of changes in the timeline. I mean, the only example that we would have to go on for something like that is, in fact, Rintaro's memory of the past John Titor. But how else can I explain it? Out of options, I decide to email Titor directly, just like he told me to. He audaciously exposed his own address in @channel. I guess that's his way of saying, bring it on. In my email, I question the differences between his posts now and his posts 10 years ago. The current Titor hasn't even acknowledged the latter. I only vaguely remember them, but they basically went something like this. In 2015, World War III breaks out, many people die. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen. By 2036, the world is a nuclear wasteland. John Titor travels to 1975 to obtain an IBM 5100. The IBM 5100 was necessary to revive technology lost in World War III. Oh, and that was the, what am I on now? Fourth thing? The reason why John Titor's looking for the IBM 5100 is because it can translate a lost programming language, is how I think it was described. The IBM 5100 has a hidden function, the ability to read IBM's proprietary computer language, which predates APL and BASIC. But only certain IBM engineers are aware of that function, so it does not appear in the manual. In 1998, Titor meets his younger self and his parents in America. John Titor was a soldier who volunteered for this mission. John Titor is an American. Interesting. So this is about the original John Titor, right? I think I mentioned this in one of the early episodes of my Let's Play, but there's this idea in time travel where, you know, it's, if you go back in time, you shouldn't meet with your younger self, because that would create a time paradox or some sort of something. Again, if we're dealing with multiple timelines, then that's that shouldn't be an issue, but I don't know. It's just an idea stuck in my head. Furthermore, in 2000, Taitor correctly predicted the outcomes of some future events. The Peruvian coast earthquake in 2001, the election of a new pope, the outbreak of the Iraq War, China's advances in space, and so forth. Though he only talked vaguely about each one, they all came true. On the other hand, other predictions went unfulfilled. For example, the Y2K bug, Civil War in America, the cancellation of the Beijing Olympics, the inauguration of America's first female president in 2009, and so forth. There's more, but let's leave those aside for now. I'm going to ask him why those predictions didn't come true. Oh, I'm sure he has an excuse. Well, you see, there were, what was the word he used? Divergences in the timeline that affected the predictions, or something like that. Okay. Most your predictions didn't come true. If you're from the future, well, then why didn't your predictions come true? I appreciate a satisfying explanation. Yeah, the explanation's probably going to be what I just said. Oh, some sort of divergence affected things, and da-da-da-da-da. Alright, let's send it now. If he can't answer to my satisfaction, then the current Taitor is an imposter. Rentaro, what is your... What would be to your satisfaction? I'm curious. Okay, this is your litmus test, John Taitor. So, what are your true colors? Hey. Man, just hearing that noise, it makes your day. My Yuri comes in. Looks like she's forgiven us for experimenting on her food. She's back to her usual smiley self.
こんな朝早くからどうしたのだ?
2人が2日連続徹夜って聞いたからね。差し入れ買ってきたよ。
そうか。それはご苦労。
They don't, this was said before, wasn't it? They don't live here, right? They just hang out here? I mean, I guess you could praise, or at least give credit to Rintaro that, you know, while Daru's doing all the heavy lifting, at least Rintaro didn't just leave him here. He stayed with him. Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Though to be accurate, it wasn't 2 nights in a row. I took an afternoon nap yesterday. Yeah, there was that. Mayuri starts fishing through her convenience store bag. And then she takes out...
Oden-kan!
Oden can. A canned meal sold in vending machines starting in the 1990s. Each can contains a hot broth of various Oden ingredients such as boiled egg, radish, konjac, beef, and tofu. An Akihabara specialty. In the year 2000 problem. Popularly known as the Y2K bug, or simply Y2K, a term referring to when, at the turn of the 21st century, there was concern over the possibility of widespread computer failure when the year 2000 began. In order to save memory space, old operating systems almost always abbreviated years to the final 2 digits. Hence, when 1999 changed to 2000, the last 2 digits would change from 99 to 00. However, if its programming didn't anticipate that change, the computer could erroneously assume that the year was 1900. Because of this, it was rumored that computers in the military, financial, and government sectors might malfunction and cause worldwide catastrophe. To address this issue, countermeasures were taken in the mid-1990s to manually update every program. Yes. The canned Oden is still warm when she gives it to me. I open the lid right away and eat the beef. Mayuri and I have been together for a long time, so she knows what I like. And when it comes to canned Oden, beef is where it's at.
マユシーからのプレゼントだよ。1個270円もするんだから大事に食べてね。
最近バナナや唐揚げは食べ飽きていたところだ。今後もこの差し入れで頼む。
さすがにしょっちゅうおごれるほどマユシーのポケットマネーは多くないのです。あとバナナや唐揚げはマユシーが大好きだから今後も続けます。
Mayuri seems too pure for this world. I'm curious. Well, never mind. I consider saying you'll get fat if you only eat frozen foods, but that threat's not very effective against Mayuri, so I hold my tongue. Her high metabolism prevents her from getting fat no matter how much she eats.
あとね、他にもあるよ。はい、じゃーん。
Was ist this? Next, she produces a small box with a Rhinet illustration.
ライネットソーセージ。ね、おまけでウーパのボトルキャップがついてくるんだ。すごく欲しかったから買っちゃった。
We never did find her special Upa that she signed. She sticks out her tongue with a shy giggle. Something tells me that in a few months' time, this lab will be neck-deep in Upa goods. There are only a few things right now, like the cushion on the sofa, but that number is sure to grow exponentially.
で、ダル君はどう？
苦戦中だ。少しぐらい休んでもらった方がいいんだがな。何もぶっ通しで何とかしろとは一言も言ってないんだから。
ダル君のスーパーハッカー魂がメラメラバーニングしちゃったんだね。
そこ、ハッカーって言わないように。
An empty Diet Cola bottle comes whistling through the air. It hits my head with a nice thunk.
ピリピリしてる。
Mayuri and I evacuate to a corner of the lounge and quietly eat the Oden.
でも、ハッキングって悪いことなんだよね。マユシーはね、二人にそういうことしてほしくないな。
We got mail. Skyclad 2010. Ah. Interesting. Greetings, this is Amane Suzuha. First email. Thanks for exchanging addresses with me yesterday. I finally made a friend here. Yay. Don't worry, I won't email you too much, and I think I might be slow to reply too. I'm kinda new to this email thing. It's okay to laugh at me. Is it weird that I don't remember us exchanging emails? We just had the exchange, and I don't remember that happening. Ah. So we can reprimand her. We can try to get some info out of her. Or, okay, we have two questions to ask. Let's go with this one. Curious what she would say. Or maybe that's too... Maybe she could just... She could be vague enough, you know? With a question like this. Oh, I was living out in the country, or something like that. Maybe I should ask this one instead. Let's go. Let's do the obvious one. I think she could easily, you know, think of something vague to say, but maybe, just maybe. Let's try it. Message sent.
ダルのスーパーハッカーじゃなくてハッカーとしての腕前使わなければ宝の持ち腐れだ。
Incidentally, it looks like hackers hijacked CERN's systems back in 2008. We found news articles about it online. That means even the inventors of the World Wide Web have holes in their security. With his skills, Daru should have no trouble getting through.
それにこれはセルンの悪事を暴くため世界をかけて支配する巨大な闇との戦いなのだよ。
悪いことは悪いことだよ。
Ah. Mayuri the philosopher. Do the ends justify the means? Or are the means as important as the ends? If not more so. Is it the destination or the journey? These are the questions we must always ask ourselves. Thank you for reminding me, Mayuri. That's unusual. Mayuri usually just accepts whatever I say. Well, I admit it, we are doing a bad thing. But there's no way we can stop now. I need to change the subject.
マユリよ、さつま揚げをやるから牛すじをくれないか。
それならうずら卵がいいな。
ふざけるな。俺は牛すじの次にうずら卵が好きなのだ。
マユシーもうずら卵好きだもん。
ちくわで手を打ってくれ。
わかったよ。さつま揚げよりはちくわだもんね。
With that said, I skewer the chikua, don't know how to say it, and put it in Mayuri's can. And I get her beef in return. Subject change complete. Mayuri really eats up conversations about food. It's so easy to manipulate her. Mwahaha.
もうすぐなんだよ。SQL のテーブル一覧さえ手に入れればパスワード特定余裕なんだよ。うへへへへ。僕をなめんな。
Daru has started talking to himself. Looks like things are falling into place. Daru really is a super haka. I think this is the first time I've seen him serious. Daru bends himself forward, staring holes into the screen. Server address. Domain name. Does that say SOL database? Or is it SQL? Select UID from users. Abel? Is that Achilles? Here's Adolf. Elaine? Just a list of names with the letter A. But all I see on the screen is the same string of numbers and letters.
おほ来た来た来たいいよいいよほら観念して俺の前に全部晒しやがれっつうのすっぱだかにされてる気分はどうだよひゃっは
So it's he's fallen in love with the very challenge of the thing. His eyes are bloodshot and he's started rambling. Maybe the lack of sleep is getting to him. Daru opens up a new window, types in a 12-character string, and slams the enter key. An error sound rings. He quickly deletes the string and enters in a new one. He keeps repeating that sequence until finally...
おお来た来た ID とパス一致ひょっほログイン完了だゴラ死ねえなめんなイエスイエスイエス
Huh. Signed in under a 1 Jack, huh? Okay. Welcome to CERN. The boy's done it. Just ask him to hack anything and Daru does it. Incredible. What enthusiasm.
誰やったのか
The smug bastard turns around with an expression of immense satisfaction. As if he's gone into, pardon my French, a petite mort. Sorry, France. Or is it just la petite mort? A condition of mental and physical release unique to male physiology, characterized by a feeling of supreme calm and composure. Entering this stage is almost like becoming an empty shell, also known as sage time, hyper sage time, or saint time in Japanese, post-nut clarity in English. Got it. See, you just had to say that, and I understood. I get it.
Mission complete.
本当か
わあすごいねよくわかんないけど
After 20 hours of agony, it's finally over. To show Daru my appreciation, I toss him an unopened Oden can. Oden.
仕事の後のおでん缶って最高すぎだろう
よくやったやはりお前は世界最高のスーパーハッカー
ハッカーな
ハッカーだお前が敵でなくてよかったそれで世界滅亡計画の証拠は見つかったか
いやまだ見てねっつーのつながっただけ
At this stage of the game, I can't help but wonder, are they really gonna go through on the CERN is evil thing? Because it's been built up so much at this point, where I'm curious if it's gonna be a trick or something.
ここまで来ればあとは楽だけどな
ならば疲れているところ悪いが早速調べてくれきっとあるはずなのだ陰謀の影が
はいはいやりますよでもその前におでん缶食わせろ
After a short meal break, Daru taps on his keyboard more nimbly than before.
手に入れたパスがセルンの誰のものなのかってのが問題なんだよな
Belongs to Jack.
どういうこと
セルンのデータベースに入ってデータのテーブル一覧をゲットしたんよそっから11111111とか ABCDEFGH みたいな簡単なパスワード使ってる関係者に的を絞って ID 手に入れたわけ。その ID の持ち主がサーバー管理者だったら最高なんだけど、さすがにそこまで運は良くないと思われ。
日本語で OK だよ。
右に同じく。
要するにセルンのサーバー管理者のパスだったならセルンの全身を舐め回すように弛緩しまくりだけど、そうじゃない普通の研究員か何かならおっぱいしか見せてもらえない的な。
Ah, well, that's all you had to say.
ダルク、エッチだね。
エロい例えをするな。つまり見られる情報が限定されてしまうということだろ。
そういうこと。サーバー管理者を特定してパスをゲットするのも時間の問題だけど、それはまた今度にするわ。さすがに眠くてあんま頭が働かん。
It would be cruel to push Daru any further. It's unfortunate, but overworking him isn't an option. Let's let him rest so we can regain his energy.
お、どうやら手に入れた ID は加速器部門担当者のものらしいよ。
サーバー管理者じゃないのか。
一発で当てるなんて奇跡でも起きない限り無理だっつうの。セルに何人の関係者がいると思ってるんだぜ。
何
？6000人以上。
That many?
とりあえずこの加速器部門担当者の名前はジャックさんのメールのログをちょろっと覗かせてもらおうよ。
And of course, the emails come up in English.
うわわ、マユシは頭が痛くなってきました。
It's pathetic to flinch at the mere sight of English.
ダリオ、何と書いてあるのだ。
翻訳しないと。
エキサイト先生にご登場願え。
Okay. Oh, Dr. Excite is a machine translation site.
そんなめんどいことしてらんねえっつの。
Daru boots up a translation software and auto-translates the open page. Poor, unnatural Japanese shows up. Uh-oh. Okay, what's the over and under that they're gonna read something that seems crazy or bad, but is just a result of a poor translation? Because that's the first thought that appeared in my head just now. The first line says Happy New Year.
新年の挨拶みたいっすな。バカンスでスペイン行くとか羨ま。
That email's normal. Nothing out of the ordinary.
こういうログを漁っていけばそのうちサーバー管理者も特定できるのだぜ。
他人のメールを勝手に見るのってすごくごめんなさいって気持ちになる。
Well, it should. You are all being very naughty right now. That's for sure. Mayuri gets depressed and moves away from the computer. She sits on the sofa and hugs her giant upa cushion with a sigh. I know we're doing something socially unacceptable. However...
俺はとっくに悪の道に踏み込んだ身。何の良心の呵責も感じないのだ。
How convenient for you.
責任はすべてこの俺が取る。ダルやマユリに罪をかぶせるつもりはない。
うほっ、僕オカリンになら掘られてもいい。
Well, alright.
それはお断りだ。というわけでダルよ、心置きなく覗き見るのだ。
オ かりんって悪いんだ。マユシーは悲しいです。
That's of no concern to me. You just sit there and pretend your hands are clean. Upon further examination, we discover several emails with the title Experiment Report. In English, naturally. Looks like he sends emails like these almost daily.
LHC の実験レポートか。タイムマシンのヒントが得られるかもしれん。開いてみるべきだろう。
これ見たら確実にヤバそうだけどな。
That's what his lips say, but his hand still clicks on the email. What comes up is an unintelligible series of symbols. Excuse me.
これ暗号化されてる。
さすがに簡単にはいかないか。
ま、この程度の暗号を解くのはへでもないがな。
Nice, Super Haka. He's a genius, no doubt. Daru undoes the security in less than 10 minutes. The real time sink is deciphering the crappy machine translation.
意訳すると
Can I... Full screen? No. Oh my goodness, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Should be okay. There should be... Is there no way to... Don't VNs usually have a way to make the thing disappear? The text? Okay, I should be able to just read this. High pole. The experimental data dated of today was improved to the server. The condition of LHC is excellent, though it is LHC to the end. This fellow is obedient, surprisingly like the cat. Though this fellow is capricious about this month. I think that it may be this condition for a long time. However, do you not think that the work is not rewarding? Ha 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 ha. So obviously this is the machine translated bit.
Hi, Paul.
そういう演技は無用だ。
サイですか。今日付の実験データをサーバーにアップしておいた。LHC の調子は良好だ。あくまで LHC はだが。こいつはまるで猫みたいに気まぐれだが、ここ1ヶ月ほどは驚くほど素直だ。ずっとこの調子だといいんだがな。しかし報われない仕事だと思わないか。この子猫、大猫と言うべきか。はははははは。が稼働して9年になるが、この人類史を塗り替える研究は一部の人間の目にしか入らないわけで、もっとも公表されたらされたでいい晒し者になるのがオチだろうがな。世の中の連中はきっとこう言うだろうさ。今すぐロバート・ゼメキフをセルンに呼んでください。そうすれば1年と経たないうちに作ってもらえるだろうってな。
9年
Daru finishes reading. I rub my temples with my thumbs. Calm down. Let's sort things out.
今のメール、翻訳ミスということはないのか。
Did Daru notice something unnatural too? He's not joking like he usually does.
翻訳ソフトを信じるならミスはないんじゃね。ところどころへんてこな日本語になってるのは確かだけど。
だとしたら妙なことになる。LHC が稼働を開始したのは去年の春ぐらいだったはずだ。だがこのメールでは9年前から稼働していたと読み取れる。
おかしいな。
The email's send date is this year, 2010. So 9 years ago makes it 2001. John Titor posted this on @channel yesterday. The only other thing I can say is that you must not believe their lies. They have already succeeded at creating micro-black holes. I gulp. If you read between the lines of this email, it sounds like they're doing some sort of secret experiment. Also, Robert Zemeckis is a super famous Hollywood movie director. He directed a trilogy of smash hit time travel movies about 20 years ago. Oh, okay. I groan. No way. Was I right? CERN's hiding a major secret from the world, and it's related to time travel.
ダル、もっと調べてくれ。タイムマシン研究の痕跡を探すんだ。
I mean, it feels a bit convenient. Look, I can believe you randomly made a time machine out of a microwave. That's perfectly believable, but the idea that you were able to hack into CERN and randomly log into the guy with the email you needed to see to confirm that they were actually an evil organization, that's beyond the pale. That's too much. Too much for me.
マジでか。
I don't know if Daru is questioning my order or the possibility that CERN might be researching time travel. Either way, he begins tapping on the keyboard again.
どのメールにもタイムマシンって単語は出てこないけど、Z プログラムって単語がこの数ヶ月で100箇所以上も使われてる。これ今 LHC を使ってやってる実験のことじゃね？
その具体的な内容はブラックホールの生成実験か。
どっかに資料は。お、見つけた。
Daru opens a PDF attachment.
ほほう、なんかこれフランスとイギリスとオランダのトップシークレット扱いっぽい。
From France, England, and Holland, huh? Sorry, Netherlands. Only Holland will get to be represented here.
国家最高機密。
セルンは国家機関じゃないはずなのに、なんでだろう。つうか国家機密ってさすがにまずいんじゃね？
構わん。詳細を調べろ。
いやいや、バレたらただじゃ済まんし。
お前はハッキングで足がつくような無能なのか？
そうならないようにはしてる。
だったら何も問題はない。
そりゃどうも。
Daru makes a slightly awkward face as he takes the file about the Z program and feeds it into the translation software.
5月14日、第137次 Z プログラム実験レポート。
Well, that definitely says mini black hole generation. And this also says human is dead mismatch. Why? That lines up pretty dang closely with our experience thus far. With the dead Kurisu and the not dead Kurisu. And apparently we have a one Jellyman. Jellyman's report. Jellyman, huh? Okay.
なお、ミニブラックホール生成ミッションはすでに確立しているため報告は省く。第一に。
ストップストップ。
All of a sudden, Tidor's prediction became a reality.
やはりセルンは LHC を使ったミニブラックホール生成に成功していたのだ。
Who's the Jellyman, I wonder? It's such a I guess it's a code name or something, but
公式には実験はまだ成功してないって発表されてるのにな。
This is what Taito was referring to when he posted "Don't believe what they say."
そもそも実験の目的は新しい素粒子反応を起こすことであってミニブラックホール生成じゃないし。
Daru doesn't take his wide eyes off the monitor.
だが実際にはすでにミニブラックホールは生成されている。
みたいだな。
その先には何と書いてある？
実験結果エラーヒューマンイズデッドミスマッチ詳細は別紙ゼリーマンズレポートナンバー14を参照。リフターの調整および各局所場適合地点をオンラインとして確定できない限り実験は停止するべきと提案する。
どういう意味だ？
ヒューマンイズデッドって人が死んだって意味じゃね？
Somebody died? Seriously? I groan. This isn't a joke anymore. Something very serious is going on here. Maybe we really are in too deep. And what if we are? I'm not afraid, I'm not. After all, I am the insane mad scientist Hoin Kyoma. We can't stop now. I can't control my curiosity. Besides, now that I have proof of their evil deeds, ignoring them would just leave a bad taste in my mouth. My throat's gone dry. I swallow my saliva. In an attempt to keep whatever composure I can, I scold myself for being so faint of heart.
ゼリーマンズレポートというのは何だ？
Daru starts typing once I ask my question, but he soon clicks his tongue.
ジャックさんのメールには見当たらないな。誰かもっと偉い人かサーバー管理者のパスを手に入れないと。
ではそれは後回しだ。タイムマシンについて探してくれ。
さすがに出てこないんじゃね？
After that, Daru spends about 15 minutes fishing through the Accelerator Division Chief's email, but he doesn't find anything about time machines.
加速器技術委員会とか LHC 計画責任者とかって単語が出てきたからその辺の ID を見当つけて探すかな。そっちからならもっと突っ込んだ情報が手に入るかもしれんわな。
ジャックさんの ID では調べられないのか？
Daru shakes his head.
では今日のところはこれまでか。
ちなみにさ、今見てたのがセルンの一番でかいサーバーなんだけど実はもう一個妙なデータベースがあったんだよね。
妙というと？
バグってた。
バグ？
いやバグっつうか一応プログラムのコードらしきものは出てくるんだけどもう意味不すぎてむちゃくちゃっつうか全くもって解読不能です。本当にありがとうございましたっつうか
暗号化されている可能性は？
あれは暗号には見えないのだぜ。そもそもプログラムとして成立してないんだよね。ただそんな誰にも見られないようなデータベースがなんで置いてあんのかは気になる。
気になるな。
ちょっと解析してみるを。
Daru tries every trick in the book to crack that mystery database. But after about an hour, the pistons he has for fingers begin speeding up. Eventually, he just slams the keyboard out of frustration.
ああ、わからん。全然わからん。こんなん絶対プログラムじゃねえよ、ボケ。死ねカスがウェッケー
Oh, great. He snapped.
もうやめた方がいいよ。
Mayuri puts down her sewing tools and turns to Daru with a worried look on her face.
頭もよく回らんし、もう無理。ふへふへ。
This is bad. Daru is breaking down. Maybe I'm pushing him too far. He's been up for 2 days straight. He's probably at his limit.
ご苦労だった。もう休め、ダル。
そうするわ。つうかさ、もしこれがバグじゃなくてガチでプログラムだとしても、作ったやつにしかわからんよ。こんなん見たことないし。
A program unlike anything he's seen, huh? At that moment, music bursts from my pocket. Ah, John Titor has responded. Are you being honest? If everything you wrote is true, then we have a lot to talk about, particularly concerning the IBN 5100's hidden functionality, which I have not mentioned to anybody yet. I'm indeed surprised that you know about it. However, I have not gone to the year 2000, though it is possible I may go there later. There are three possible explanations. First, the John Titor who appeared in 2000 is my future self. In other words, I go to 2000 later and write about the things you told me. But that would cause a chicken and egg paradox, wouldn't it? Second, you're delusional or making things up. For the sake of serious discussion, let's set aside this possibility. Or let's set this possibility aside, rather. Third, you may have seen something I wrote on a different world line. That would mean that 10 years ago you existed on a different world line than the one we're on now. However, that raises another issue. When the world line changes, the entire timeline is reconstructed from past to future in order to prevent a paradox from occurring. That was proven in 2036. In other words, it should be impossible for you to retain memories of a previous world line unless you are unless you too are a time traveler, that is. Do you have any idea what the cause could be? I'm gonna say it's probably this third thing here. Considering the whole issue with memories he's been having. So we're thinking that, you know, after he saw Kurisu dead, used the phone. Daru's phone was in the phone wave. That somehow it sent him... Okay, are we saying a different world line? A world line meaning another branch, another timeline? But that's interesting because in that instance, he hops to a different timeline, but it was the same time. It's not like he went to the past or the future. It was the same time, just a different reality. Which is curious. And then, yeah, why would he retain memories, I guess? Unless he's unless he's from a different timeline. Yeah, no, that makes sense. We see John Titor. We happen to have a certain microwave. Do you think we're going to need the IBN 5100 to decipher that server? This is my technical illiteracy speaking here, though. I'm not sure if it works like that. I'm not sure if that's what the server Daru found, that he's unable to decipher it. I'm not sure if that is the same thing as an older proprietary computer language. I don't know. I gulp. A flash runs through my head like an electric shock. There's quite a bit of text, but what catches my eye are the first several lines.
そうか。今、点が線でつながろうとしているぞ。
何の話？
Mayuri looks at me curiously, but I don't have time to answer her. I'm frantically assembling the pieces in my mind.
ジョン・タイター、セル、タイムマシン。
These things are all connected. And now I have another piece of the puzzle. I shiver at my own brilliance. You know, I think, as much as I find it his personality, or maybe I should say his persona, somewhat obnoxious and can get on your nerves. In this instance, I think it does serve as a pretty good coping mechanism. I mean, if I was slowly discovering, well, one, the existence of time travel, that would just freak me out horribly. I don't know what I would do in that instance, but I would certainly be perhaps paralyzed with fear. And then also slowly uncovering a potential conspiracy of, how do I say it? World-shattering proportion here. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be able to react at all. And yet, our Rintaro here is able to continue on because he has this way of dealing with it.
ダルよ、もしかするとそのプログラムの正体判明するかもしれんぞ。
Uh-huh. So it is gonna be that.
え、マジで？どうやって？
I aim my phone's camera at the screen displaying the supposedly bugged data and take a picture. I attach it to a message. Does this code look familiar? And send it to Taitor. A mysterious database inside CERN. A program unlike anything Super Hacker Daru has ever seen. Its true form is...
俺のひらめきが正しければ、ジョン・タイターが知っている。
はあ？それはないわ。
なんとでも言うがいい。答えはすぐに出る。
We wait for Taitor's reply. Though it's only been a few minutes, it feels like an eternity to me.
来た。
Whew. I'm nervous. I feel nervous. Okay. Let's hear it. Where did you find that? That's written in a proprietary IBM programming language used prior to 1975. You can only decipher it with an IBM 5100. It's true. I quickly open the mail, and its contents are enough to raise goosebumps on my entire body.
やはりな。
やはりって？
ダルよ、俺の予想は正しかった。判明したぞ。そのプログラムの正体が。
IBN5100?
That retro PC has a certain special function. In fact, for more than 25 years after it went to market in 1975, nobody knew of it save for a few IBM engineers. That function was first brought to light by the John Titor who appeared in 2000. And while after Titor posted about it, an actual IBM engineer admitted to the hidden function's existence. Which reminds me, I talked to Suzuha about this only yesterday.
APL やベーシックが普及する前に書かれた IBM の独自のプログラミング言語も解読できちゃうのってさ、驚愕だと思わない？今や IBM5100 でしか解読できない失われたプログラミング言語があったりするんだよ。
So this is pretty important too, because again, if we're talking about the original John Titor story, it was John Titor came onto the scene, said that the IBM 5100 had this thing, this hidden function, and then an IBM engineer came out and confirmed it. But in this reality, there was no original John Titor. So, there's no original John Titor. John Titor hasn't revealed this hidden function, so that should mean that no IBM engineer has confirmed its existence. So, how does Suzuha know this? What an incredible coincidence. A prime example of synchronicity at work. Synchronicity, a concept advocated by Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. A meaningful coincidence. Simultaneity, the feeling that two causally unrelated events have a meaningful deterministic relationship. For example, a vase fell and shattered and at the same time my grandmother died in the hospital, or I was gossiping about this person and then they called me right after, or countless other similar stories. Synchronicity is such an incredibly common phenomenon that nearly everyone has felt it at some point in their lives, no matter where they are in the world. I get that. I've had that happen. That's sort of... Well, it may not be entirely related, but there's what's the saying? Speak of the devil and he shall appear. That sort of thing. Yeah. It's almost like an almighty will is pulling the strings.
いいな、断じていいなだ。我らにとってこの発見はまさに必然。これこそがシュタインズゲートの選択だということだ。
つまりセルンは IBN5100 を使ってこのデータベースを構築したって？互換性のないマシンを使って？なんでそんなわけわからんことを？
ならば聞くが、外部からのクラッキングに対する最高のセキュリティ方法は何だ？
Cracking, computer terminology used to describe actions such as illegally accessing network systems, tampering with data. It is often confused with hacking, but the word hacking originally means the constructive study of software. Cracking, however, refers to malicious, unauthorized activity, so whenever the term hacking is used by the media, this is typically what they're referring to. I mean, there is something to be said about this. I believe I've heard it said that things like, say, in America, the various systems and software and hardware that is used for, say, the nuclear systems or the silos, you know, for the nuclear missiles. I've heard that it is still somewhat primitive, technologically speaking, computer-wise. And it's been kept that way, specifically because it's something like a closed system. I think that might be the term. Where it's, you know, it's not connected to the internet. It can't be hacked into. It's its own thing. So it's kept that way. Now, that that could lead to other issues with how reliable those things can be. You know, you got to maintain it, and the parts and the people with the knowledge, the know-how to maintain those old systems are, you know, they might be few and far between. But it does protect it in a way from, well, from what we see the example right here with what Daru just did, hacking in from all the way in Japan, you know.
そりゃスタンドアローンだろ。
Standalone. A term referring to a computer that is not connected to any other computer or network. Daru quickly catches on to the intent of my question.
IBN5100 でしか解読できないなら、それは疑似的なスタンドアローンってわけか。
ゆえに、そこに眠るのはセルンにとって最重要の機密だということだ。
つか、オカリンはなんでその隠された機能のこと知ってるん？ソースは？
俺の頭の中に眠る膨大なインデックスに記述されている。どうでも言っておこう。
Index librorum prohibitorum. Yes, quite. Titor said it himself 10 years ago, but Daru wouldn't believe me even if I told him the truth.
パクリ設定オツ。
I ignore Daru's retort.
マユリ、大事な話があるから集まれ。
ここからでも聞こえるよ。
Mayuri's sewing. She doesn't get off the sofa.
聞こえるとか聞こえないとかの問題ではないのだ。
It's the second time.
これは我ら未来ガジェット研究所にとって、いや人類の未来にとって運命を左右する会議なのだよ。だからもっとこう秘密めいた感じというか企んでいる感じを出したい。
It's important that we stare closely at the monitor and exchange dramatic lines. The atmosphere right now, it's too light. It's all my Yuri's fault.
マユシーは悪巧みには参加しません。
Well, I can't have everything my way.
二人とも聞け。これより未来ガジェット研究所は緊急極秘作戦を発動させる。これは世界を影から操る巨大な闇との戦いの第一歩となるだろう。敵はセル、世界的な研究機関でありながら邪悪な研究に見られた連中である。
オカリン、声でけえ。徹夜明けにはきついっす。
Crap, I guess I am being too loud. Yeah, Suzuha probably heard that. That kind of ruins the whole secret feeling. And the window's open and the window's open too. If Suzuha's down below, I'm sure she can hear everything. So I turn it down a notch.
いいか、世界にマッドサイエンティストは2人いらん。奴らに先んじられる前に我らが出し抜いてやるのだ。
奴らって？
奴らは奴らだ。
Ah, yes, them.
あのね、マユシーは全然わかんないよ。
つまりこの秋葉のどこかにあるという幻のレトロ PC IBN5100 を手に入れる。
I make a magnificent declaration, but Daru just rubs his eyes and Mayuri returns to her needlework. Damn it. Is there anything you guys react to? We've uncovered a massive conspiracy here. How come you aren't excited?
僕探すのはパス。マジで寝させてよ。それとセルンの中をもっと探りたい件について。
そうだったな。まあそれができるのはダルだけなのだからそっちは任せる。では IBN5100 の捜索は俺とマユリで。
無理だよ。
Mayuri makes an apologetic face.
コス作りもあるし、バイトもあるもん。
So basically, you two are telling me this. I'm the only one with free time.
いいだろう。この件は俺が何とかする。そうと決まった以上、俺のやり方に口出しは無用だ。分かったな。
また何か悪いことしようとしてる？
いや、口だけじゃね。
I leave my useless comrades behind and stride gallantly out of the lab. Okay, I think we are... Yep, I'm over time, so I'm going to call it here. Next time, we shall begin our search for the IBN 5100. That was quite a lot. So it does indeed look like we are going with the evil organization is CERN. And that's alright, I guess. As I said earlier on, I was curious whether or not they were going to do kind of bait and switch there, but no, it looks like that's what they're going for. At least for now. Okay. I'm very tired. It is very late at night, and I have to get up very early. So I'm not going to speculate anymore. I'm going to wait till next time to digest all the information I got this time. Okay, in any case, I've been the Worm. This has been Steins Gate. I hope you're all doing all right, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good one.